Welcome to another week of Karenisms. And this is definitely a pre recorded Karenism. Today is actually Black Friday, right after Thanksgiving 2024. And I'm recording this for Monday, December 2nd, because as this show is playing, I will be in surgery for my cancer. And again, I know everything's going to be just fine, regardless of what the outcome is. I've lived a good life and I'll continue to live a good life. And I just want you to know that I love and appreciate you for joining me every week. And sadly, Jace is not with us this week because I needed to do those recordings and I had to do them at a time where unfortunately we were not both available, just me. So I'm doing this without Jace. So you get just me today, which, sometimes that happens. And today I want to talk about smiling. Now, smiling is not something that I have always done naturally. And I think we talked about this in another week's episode. But there was a time where I just was not a happy camper. And I was depressed. Everything was going wrong in my life. I weighed even more than I weigh now, probably 60, 70 pounds more than I weigh now. And I was physically and emotionally, mentally, spiritually run down. I just didn't have it left in me. And I told you the 3 secrets the doctor told me, and I'm going over them again, and then we'll talk more about smiles in a second. But the first one he said was I'll tell you, the first one he said was smile. He says, smile for 20 minutes a day. He actually said laugh for 5 minutes a day. And I am not a laugher. Somebody tells me something hysterical and I go, and I feel accomplished. I don't laugh unless I get into one of those laughing fits where I laugh until I cry and then I snort. And, that makes everybody else laugh because it's embarrassingly weird. But he said, that's okay. If you can't laugh for 5 minutes in a row, go ahead and smile for 20 minutes in a row. And I'm like, if I had something to smile about, I wouldn't be here talking to you. And he said, that's all right. Force yourself to smile anyway. And I'm going to go over some superpowers that smiling has in just a second. And then the second thing he said was walk. He said, walk for half an hour every day. And he says, so, leave your house, walk 15 minutes, turn around and walk back. And the best thing you can do is smile while you walk. And I forced myself to smile. I mean, it was a grit. My neighbors were scared. Every time I went out for a walk, they were scared. But I walked for 15 minutes one way and then turned around and came back. And I forced myself to smile. And the third one, my favorite, he said, drink cranberry juices. Now, it can be cran apple, cran grape, cran raspberry, cran whatever. But apparently cranberries have got a chemical in them that helps balance depression. And I tried those 3 things and it didn't happen overnight. But with time, my whole outlook on life changed. And a lot of it came from smiling. And I tell you, I didn't smile. And now I don't even realize I'm smiling half the time that I am. And it's interesting because when you smile, other people smile at you. And my kids laugh at me and they do it too. And now we all laugh at each other. They said, man, you got a face that says I care. And it's like, okay. But we'll be at the grocery store and complete strangers will stop us and start talking to us about all kinds of things. I mean, I was in the cereal aisle, I think it was. I was in, we'll say, the cereal aisle one day, and this lady started telling me about her cat's hemorrhoids. And I'm like, okay, not what I expected to hear. But as we analyze it and as I watch it with my kids, and the same thing happens to them, it's because we look people straight in the eye, we smile, and we nod, and we go our way. And that smile tells people somebody cares about me. So when I say there are 9 superpowers, I'm going to tell you there's 10. First superpower, the one that I think probably is the most important, is that it tells people they matter. it tells yourself that you matter, but it tells other people that they matter. And that is really, really important. Now, on to the superpowers at the studies. I think it was the University of Missouri, Kansas City, Missouri, that did all of these studies. And if I got it wrong, it's a different university, forgive me. But I believe that was the university that did all the studies. And they had college students take photos of people. And it was interesting because they had various study groups that did it. And the first set of people, they took this people and they had them smiling in one photo and not smiling in another. And the students naturally picked the one smiling to be 5 to 10 years younger than the one where they were not smiling. Same person, same age, not a different era, but the same person, same age. The only difference was, and same clothes. The only difference was they were smiling in one photo and were frowning in another. Well, I'll tell you what, you get my age, you'll take 5 or 10 years off and very happily. So smiling actually makes you look younger. And the second one that they came up with, so this would be the number 3 superpower. The second study that they did was on weight. And again, they had the same people smiling in some pictures and not smiling in others. Well, just watching me demonstrate this, what they said was they came to the conclusion that psychologically, when somebody doesn't smile, they look weighed down, and that subconsciously adds weight to the person looking at them, to them. And now when I don't smile, when I frown, I've got jowls. I mean, I have that face. It's just the way it's shaped. It doesn't matter how much weight I lose. I've got jowls. And when I frown, you can see how those jowls come down and hang more. And you can see the lines, which actually makes me look older. But when I smile, it's a natural facelift. Those jowls are still there, but they go up, and it's like a natural facelift. And I'm trying to remember what the weight difference was. It was between, I think it was between 7 and, okay, I'm making numbers up now in my mind. But I think it was between 7 and 20 pounds difference between smiling and not smiling. And again, hey, I am not a thin person. I know that about me. No excuses. It's just the way it is. And I'll take that 7 to 20 pounds and gladly give it away for a smile. So smile is a natural facelift. Number 4 is it smiling elevates your mood. It gives you that sense of well-being. And one of the things that they said, and I loved how the college professor put it, he said that when you smile, it's like your mind is throwing a happy party. And the party animals are serotonin, endorphins, and dopamine. And so, hey, I'll have those party animals come anytime. And I'm losing these. There we go. I'll have those party animals come and play in my brain any day because they make you feel better. They make you feel better. Oh, and the next superpower. You've all heard that chocolate makes you feel loved. It gives the same endorphins, the same chemicals that you get when you feel loved. Smiling, one smile, I love the study, one smile produces the same amount of chemicals that 2,000 chocolate bars produce. Now, I love chocolate as much as the next guy, maybe more than some, but 2,000 candy bars just to feel the same way one smile makes you feel? And I mean, just craziness. The next one that they did is they found that even a forced smile, and I told you when I was walking, I had to force that smile. I was, but a forced smile. And what they did is they took a study group of kids that were anxious, depressed, stressed, and they made them put a pencil between their teeth as they were studying. And that naturally lifts up the corners of your mouth. Naturally, yeah, I just talk without it in my. It lifts up the corners of your mouth. Now you can frown with that in there, but you have to focus on it. I mean, that's just uncomfortable, and really uncomfortable. But put a pen or a pencil between your teeth, and it lifts up those corners, and it makes you feel better. And I love this quote, and I think this quote goes great with this. And the quote is, sometimes your joy is the source of your smile, and sometimes your smile can be the source of your joy. Isn't that a great quote? Sometimes your joy is the source of your smile, and sometimes your smile is the source of your joy. So, go back to the 2000 candy bars, go back to the smiling, go back to the laughter. But all of this is good for you. So it actually will help you feel better. I like that one. I like that quote. And then, I love this next one. Smiles can predict the length and health of a relationship. I mean, you think about that. They did a study, and what they found was that people who were happy and smiled had longer lasting and more meaningful relationships than those that did not. But, think about it. Who wants to live with a grump? Nobody wants to live with a grump. Now, I got to pause for just a minute. Nobody wants to live with Pollyanna. And if you don't know the story of Pollyanna, we'll talk about that another week. Great story. But nobody wants to live with somebody who's always Susie Sunshine and never sees that there's reality in life. Bad things happen, and bad things happen to good people. And it's important that we face our emotions. And it's okay to be sad. It's okay to have a heavy heart. And man, I've cried this last few months. I've cried several times. I have asked why. I have asked myself, though, do I want to live happy, or do I want to stop living in this moment and be miserable out of fear? And I choose to be happy because it makes me feel better. And I believe my choosing to be happy is one of the reasons that I'm going to heal, and that I have been healing faster than they expected me to. So that I just want to pause. You don't want to pretend bad things don't happen. You don't want to pretend you're not sad. We get depressed sometimes. We have anxiety sometimes. We have stress quite a bit. And it's okay to have those and to acknowledge those. And I'll go over my RAFU another day. But it's important that we acknowledge our emotions and that we allow ourselves to have the whole gamut of emotions. But smiling naturally helps you get past those things. And that doesn't mean that something horrible happens and you're crying and you have to force yourself to smile through the tears. No, cry. But then allow yourself to smile, even if you have to put the pen in your teeth while you move forward. Okay, so smile, do that. Smiling makes you appear courteous. It makes you appear likable. Here's the one I like, though. It makes you appear to be more competent. People who are not smiling give off the air that they are unsure, that they are anxious, that they are not secure. And I mean, it doesn't mean, okay, you have to smile all the time. But even when you're not smiling, you can let the corners of your mouth turn up. By the way, it takes less muscles for that than to frown. Okay. So people who have the ability to smile appear to be more competent. And I really, really like that. Also, they did a study of, they took 1950s, pre-1950 baseball cards. And they were able to come up with a prediction of the length or the lifespan of people according to their smiles. So the width of their smile, it determined the width of their life. And so the people who had a straight face and, looked sober, hey, aren't I cool? Those people who didn't smile, their average lifespan was 72 point something years. The ones that had the big old grins on these playing cards, their average lifespan was 80, 83 or something like that. It was in the low to mid 80s. And, that's 5-10 years. And just smiling changed the lifespan of all of these baseball players that they had the cards on. And, you think about that. That's a history. That's not just me predicting I'll live longer because I smile. I mean, my mom smiles all the time. She's 92 and she's got a good 10 years or more ahead of her. And I know a lot of that's because she smiles and laughs a lot. So you've got that. And then smiling is contagious. We talked about that right up front. Smiling is contagious, and it helps you feel better, and it helps other people feel better. So those are all superpowers that smiling has. And I just want you to know that I am grateful for all of you, and that you truly do help me smile on a daily basis, and definitely on a weekly basis. And those of you who tune in when we play the show on Mondays at 10 a.m. Pacific time, 1 p.m. Eastern time, I really appreciate you. Those of you who watch it afterwards, I love you too. And I just want you to know that no matter what happens in life, live life to its fullest every moment, and find the joys and happiness so that you can smile naturally. And again, acknowledge when things aren't great. It's okay to have a heavy heart and still choose to be happy. Well, that's it for this week. And, I'd love to turn it over to Jason, get his input, but darn it, like I said, he's not here this week. So that being said, I love and appreciate you all. Don't forget to join us on Wednesdays for Power Surge, where we have great guests that come and help us learn how to do the things that inspire us and motivate us to be better people. And that again is Wednesdays, 10 a.m. Pacific time, 1 p.m. Eastern time, and Karenisms every Monday, 10 a.m. Pacific, 1 p.m. Eastern time. Appreciate you all. And may you find peace and joy in all that you do. And we'll talk to you later. Ciao for now.
Thank you for watching this episode of Karenisms. If you found anything interesting, entertaining, or useful, please be sure and hit the like button. Now, to find out more about me, my coaching, events, or even resources, go to drkarenperkins.com. Again, that's Dr. Dr. Karen, Karen, Perkins, Perkins.com. And if you haven't already, subscribe.